Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. You know, we all have our automotive prejudices, and I was one of those people that always thought of Volvo as kind of a nice, safe. I like them. I've got one. Not a high-performance car. I always liked the 122s. I like that wagon. They were always a safe, reliable, seemed kind of boring car, at least when I was growing up. Well, that has all, I think, changed. This is the S60. This is done by Polestar. Polestar, you might remember, they were here once before with this really cool hatchback. Take a look. Now, this particular car, this is a Volvo C30. This is, it's 2.5 liter, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And 5-cylinder. And how many horsepower?
This particular one puts out 451 horsepower.
451. Okay, so you just woke up all the people that went, oh, Volvo, I don't want to. No, 451 horsepower. And it's four-wheel drive, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Is four-wheel drive an advantage? Like here in the States, most of the race cars are two-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. Is it a tremendous advantage having four-wheel drive?
On a day like today?
Well, on a rainy day, yeah.
On a rainy day, it's definitely an advantage.
Right, right.
This is a stock Volvo.
Right, but there's no carbon fiber panels here. This is all.
This is actually carbon fiber.
Oh, this is carbon. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Oh, it is all carbon fiber. Okay, very good.
It's got this interior and stuff.
Right.
So it's
yeah.
It's got a Ferrita exhaust system with a race cat on this particular car. For road use, it should be another cat, but.
And it's a nice-looking car as well.
Thank you, Jim.
And it doesn't look like a race car. That's what I like. It looks like a real car you could drive on the street. Nice size proportionally. It's not much bigger than most European hatches. It's a little bit bigger, but this is the right size for a car. I like it. And there's plenty of room inside. It seats 4 people. As we said, these are modifications anybody with this C30 model Volvo could do to their own car, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, they're back. They've become sort of a performance arm for Volvo. Polestar is kind of where AMG was, maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago, making a name for themselves, using Volvo, going racing, and building just incredibly powerful and reliable racing cars and automobiles. George, our mechanic here, is a huge Volvo enthusiast. George was a Volvo mechanic for years and years, so he loves them, and he's kind of turned me on to the brand a little bit. But let's meet Hans Bolt. Hans, come on in. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Good
to
see you.
Be here.
He kiddingly called this color Swedish racing green, and of course that kind of went all over the world, didn't it? So,
It did.
Yeah. So how did it go over well in Sweden?
In Sweden, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a more problem in UK actually.
In the UK, yeah, they get a little testy, the British. So tell us what we have here.
We have a Volvo S60.
Okay.
Based on what you can buy here in America, with a straight 6-cylinder engine in the front, and you only get it as an automatic here. This one is 6-speed manual.
But it's sold in Europe as a 6-speed manual.
You can't get it with that engine and the gearbox. You can't get that either.
Oh, you can't go. So you're the only people converting this to a manual transmission.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And it was always 4-wheel drive, correct?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Because I remember the last one you had, the hatchback. That was a front-wheel drive, and you incorporated this 4-wheel drive system. That was the 5-cylinder.
Yes, correct.
And of course, this is the 6-cylinder transverse, and it's pretty crowded under that hood. We'll take a look in a minute.
Yep.
But so this is a 4-door model. What else is different?
Apart from more power, the whole all-wheel drive system have been tuned much more. It's got an hydroelectric rear diff, so we can adjust the differential in the rear.
Hydroelectric rear diff, so we're using fluid and electricity.
Yes.
And what is the horsepower of this car?
It's 508 horsepower, that's 501 PS.
And how many Newton meters of torque?
575.
Okay, well, for you Americans, that's right up there with a Z06 Corvette, except you're getting, obviously, 4-wheel drive, 4 doors. It's a family. You can fool the wife. Honey, we're getting a Volvo, okay? It'll be perfect for the kids, and then you can go out and race around in it. And you guys have made quite a name for yourselves with Polestar, eh?
We're doing it.
Well, the Swedes are very modest. They don't like to blow their own horn, but all the racing cars out there, there's a huge Volvo community out there that I knew nothing about, because the last time the guys were here, we got tons and tons of comments and how do I get those products and all this kind of stuff. So the word is getting out, and you've been very successful racing these, correct?
Yeah, we're racing the Swedish Championship. We actually made a Grand Slam, taking all the 3 different championships victories this year.
Wow.
It's good. We had a C30 in the WTCC 2011.
Now, you've modified the drivetrain, you've modified the suspension. What have you done to the engine?
It's quite a lot of small different things made, but it's 99% stock Volvo parts.
Okay.
The conrods is the only thing that we actually machined.
Okay,
ourselves.
so you're actually, so this is not bolt-on. This is taking the engine out, going through the engine.
It is, yes.
You do conrods, what else? Head work?
Yeah, some head work as well.
Porting, polishing, that kind
Yeah,
of thing?
and we
Okay.
use camshaft from another different engine, but it's
Okay.
still a stock camshaft.
So it's basically what we
And
would,
of course, a bigger turbo.
yeah, what we would call in America blueprinting, essentially.
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, so the blueprinting mean the same thing in Swedish? Is
It
that a
does, it
term you
does.
guys use? Yeah, okay. So just going through the engine and making
Yeah.
it. How much bigger turbocharger do you use?
Oh, it's a good question.
Yeah, how many pounds of boost do you run?
1.6 bar.
1.6 bar, okay. And is there a boost gauge in the car?
No, not necessary.
Okay, you don't need it. All right, very good.
The body is widened to get better traction. We
Oh, that's
widen
right.
the whole,
Yeah.
whole suspension, and also widen the front, and also widen the rear. The doors are widened, and this frame is
Wow,
widened.
so this is really a major. So these are not the stock doors?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boy, I must say it's nicely done. I assumed this was a stock Volvo that you just modified the powertrain, but this is all added on as well. Is this, what material is this? Aluminum, carbon fiber?
No, no, it's carbon fiber in the front fenders,
Okay,
but
yeah.
this is steel work.
Steel
all
back
metal
here,
work, yeah.
okay. And the cool thing is, it's still a Volvo. You know, that's kind of the fun thing if you're looking for something to go racing around, but you need a four-door and you need to take kids. That's it's pretty neat. And
Another part, could show you here around in the rear.
yes.
Because we designed this car to be able to run over 300 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
So we needed to add, this is actually made in the wind tunnel, Volvo's wind tunnel. We needed to add this one and also this diffuser here to make it stable in high speeds.
So 300 kilometers, that would be 186 miles an hour?
You're the one doing the
I
math.
think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Approximately. Well, that gives you some. Any Volvo going 186 miles an hour is pretty impressive. But I must say, they don't look. I'm not a big fan of the big giant wings and all that nonsense that people do. But you accomplish the same thing with what you've done here. Boy, it's a good-looking car.
Thank
Very
you. Jim.
nice. Very nice. Nicely done. Not overly done. And it's a six-cylinder. And I imagine when you're not on the power, you probably get pretty reasonable mileage, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's driving it as on a daily basis. It's not a
Now, why in Europe was it not available with a standard shift? Do they just,
good question.
yeah, most people prefer the automatic, is that it? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And what is the automatic? It's not a dual clutch box or anything
No,
of that
it's
nature. It's just
no,
a standard.
standard
yeah,
6-speed.
Yeah. Have you thought of that? Is that the next generation of incorporating some sort of paddle dual clutch?
Could be interesting, but as car enthusiasts, we actually really like a manual.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say that. Thank you very much. Thank you. I wanted to hear that. Well, let's open the hood. Let's take a look underneath.
Nice.
Is this a stock hood?
Yeah, stock hood.
Because it's very light. Boy, it's very light. And that's a stock hood, huh?
Taking that insulation away, but otherwise it's stock.
Now, this doesn't look stock. Did you add this?
Yeah, we add all the way from here to
Okay.
take as much air as possible in
Okay.
to the filter, and also to distribute it down to the turbo.
Right. Okay.
And this is also made by us,
Yeah.
the plenum.
And you still got air conditioning and everything in it, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
So it's not a race car. I mean, it is a race car, but it's a race car you can drive on the street. That's what I like. You don't have to give up air conditioning and heating and cooling and radio and all those kind of things. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Tell me about the wheels.
That's something we're a bit proud of. It's our own wheels,
Yeah.
designed specially for this car. It's a milled.
Yeah. It's a nice looking wheel. And I would almost say there's a V for Volvo, but maybe
Could be.
I could be projecting. But no, it looks very nice. Very nice.
One important part of the car is, of course, the LENO'S shock absorbers.
Yeah.
And you'll notice when you drive the car, it's not bumpy at all.
Right.
It's not a rough ride. It's doing that, and it's also doing very, very well on a racetrack. So
Now,
it's
is
good
there one
combination.
setting, or can you adjust the shocks from
adjustable.
inside the car? From
Not,
inside
not
the
from inside the car, but
Oh,
when you
right.
do a
track day or
track
something.
days and
Yeah,
things. you
gotcha.
can do
Very
that.
good, very good. Well, it's a nice looking car. Let's, I think it's time to go for a ride. There's no perceptible turbo lag with this at all. In fact, I would not even know this was turbocharged if you hadn't told me. It feels like a naturally aspirated engine. So Volvo guys can go to the Polestar website, correct?
Yes, polestar.com.
Polestar.com. It's very simple. Can't be easier than that. And check out some of the cool stuff that's available. You know, this car has really changed my whole feeling about Volvo. I always liked them. I knew they were nice, as I said before, and dependable and safe. But to make a performance car out of it really makes it exciting.
It's a quite nice ride, isn't it?
Very nice
it's
ride.
not very rough.
Now tell me about this engine. How many liter?
It's a 3-liter straight 6-cylinder engine.
Okay, 3 liter, straight 6, 2 valve,
4
valve,
Yes.
twin cam.
Yes.
Boy, this engine really comes alive after about 3,500. I'm in third gear, and let's punch it at 3,500 RPM and feel it just pull away. Got a great sound to it, just loud enough to be enjoyable, but not so loud that it drums like a headache. As I said, the steering is nicely weighted. You know, at first when I got in the car, it felt a little heavy, but once you're underway, it's very, very nice. Here's something Hans just showed me. Explain what we did here with the turbo.
We engaged a blip system that activates the throttle a little bit when you downshift, just to keep the revs up in the wheel speed. And also it's a response system that keeps the revs and the turbo pressure up when you're going up the gears.
Why isn't that just on all the time?
You can have it on all the time.
I mean,
but
why would you want to turn it off?
Don't know really.
Save fuel maybe?
No, that's not the reason for it. It might, yeah, you want to use it when you're performance driving.
Right, right. Well, let's take it up on the freeway, see how she cruises. You know, at 60 miles an hour, you're barely turning a little over 2,000 RPM, so I imagine gas mileage is probably pretty good. As you can see, coming on that on-ramp, she goes pretty good. Suspension is very nice. It doesn't bottom out. We hit a couple of dips there and it doesn't bang or crash. It rides firm, but very, very comfortable. I mean, it's still a Volvo, and everything a Volvo is. It's just maybe Volvo on steroids. Would that be good? Yeah, maybe Volvo on steroids. I'll go with that. And this is proof you don't have to have a V8 to have fun. And you know, it's such a sleeper. Past a couple of cops going by, they never look twice at it. The cool thing about this is you have basically a bulletproof race car. You know, this isn't some temperamental thing that gets all... I love hearing that. I love that, how it automatically flips the throttle for you. I thought only automatics did that, but no, that's pretty neat. Pretty neat. This is a... Especially
in the rain.
Yeah, very cool.
Because it doesn't lock up the wheels when you downshift.
Gotcha. Very nice. I like this Volvo. Well, this is pretty cool. You know, after you drop the kids off at daycare, you can go out and go road racing and then come back and put the kids in the back of the race car and go home. Because you've got the, as I said, the safety of the Volvo and the integrity with some real horsepower here. You know, this is Z06 Corvette stuff now. I want to thank Hans. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And check out Polestar's website. If you got a Volvo, you don't have to hang back anymore. You don't have to pretend you bought it for other reasons. Now you can have a fast car. So very, very impressive. Thank the guys at Polestar. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Hey, we'll see you guys next week.